good shape, healthy, and have faith in yourself. Like this. And then you carry on. Don't bring too much because it's heavy in the end.
On day 5 of the Camino Portuguese, we made our way from Rubiaes to Valença. After an early morning stretch of walking, we stopped in the town of Pontevedra for a coffee break. Owen got the chance to meet a friend and do what all 2-year-olds love to do, play. He may have played a little too hard though, because he went down for a long late morning nap as soon as we walked into the town of Valença, our final stop in Portugal before crossing into Spain. Located along the Minho River across from Spain, Valença is a walled town that played a defensive role in the integrity of Portugal from neighboring Spain throughout the years. Like many towns on the Iberian Peninsula, Valença's origins date back to the Romans. As a pilgrim walking along the way, it can be jarring at times to enter large cities and towns after spending so many miles of solitude in small villages and along isolated dirt paths. Valença has a very different vibe in this regard, with its sprawling fortress walls providing a welcome respite from life on the trail. We spent some time exploring before continuing on through town via roads and tunnels, towards the old international bridge that would take us into Spain. As we made our final approach to the Minho River crossing, we set our final Bom Camino in Portugal and prepared to start saying Buen Camino as we entered Spain via the cathedral town of Tui. Tui is where many pilgrims begin their journey along the Camino Portuguese, much like the town of Sarria along the Camino Frances. Right now we're reaching the halfway point of the Camino Portuguese, leaving the town of Valença and entering into Tui, which also signifies the border crossing from Portugal to Spain. As we made our way into Spain over the Minho, it was a great time to reflect and think back on our first week of walking along the way. All of my doubts and worries about walking with a 2-year-old had vanished as my son grew into his role as a pilgrim. He seemed to be loving every second of the walk. The only concern still on my mind was thinking about how we were going to carry all of the cars, trucks, and tractors he was accumulating in each place we stopped. The first stages in Spain after leaving Tui consisted of many unpleasant asphalt roads through industrial zones. The tranquility of the Camino started to return a bit as we made it to the town of Redondela. We then set out to hike 2 separate inclines, totaling more than 1,400 feet of vertical gain. At the top of the climb, we reached Alta de Lamba, where we saw a wall of Camino shells and a few photos with handwritten notes from the many pilgrims that passed through here before us. The lush green forest and views of the Ria Vigo pulled us ahead. We wanted to enjoy this downhill path as much as we could, because we knew a dangerous stretch of road walking along the N550 highway was ahead. From the guidebook, I knew it wasn't a long highway walking section, but it would have us a few feet from traffic flying by at highway speed. After reaching the final stages of safety along the dirt walking paths on this stretch, we packed away all of our gear and got ready to literally hit the road. The highlight of the day was a stop in the beautiful city of Arcade after walking along N550 highway, and the crossing of a bridge from Arcade to Apant. Bridge crossings are one of my favorite parts of the Camino. The start and finish, while crossing over an otherwise impassable obstacle, makes for the perfect metaphor of the Camino experience. As we crossed over the bridge towards Apante, a gentleman stopped us and told me that he recognized me from my YouTube video about the Camino Frances. He was from the States as well, and introduced us to a pilgrim friend of his from Germany. We stopped and talked for a while before continuing on together towards Pontevedra. Our day concluded at an albergue on the outskirts of Pontevedra, where we got to watch Spain take on Portugal in the group stages of the World Cup.